It's weird because it sounds like it'd be healthy, like enriched, like you've got all these things in it, but it's not. Welcome back to another episode of Clean or Not Clean Breakfast Edition. So we're talking all breakfast foods today. Let's get right into it. We've got Elemental Labs Recharge Electrolyte Mix. So a couple things I like right off the bat. Number one, I like that it says raw and unflavored. A lot of times these electrolyte mixes, I mean, you've seen Gatorade. They come in so many different flavors like cherry, whatever, and that's where you're gonna get into some dicey ingredients and chemicals. So I like that this is raw and unflavored. One thing I would say to watch out for is that, like I said before, I've said previously, a lot of brands have different variations of products. So they actually do make other ones that contain natural flavors, which if you've been watching other episodes of the show, you know is just always kind of a no for me most of the time. So for this one, I like that there's one variation that is just unflavored. Let's just also check the ingredients. Sodium chloride, which is salt, magnesium malate, and potassium chloride. So simple, you've got your electrolytes. And if you want to flavor your water after, add some lemon, add some fruit. You can add a little monk fruit. So get wild with your flavors, but buy it unflavored. All right, next we've got Kashi Go Rice. So Kashi's like the healthy brand I had growing up. I feel like it was always the healthier cereal option, especially in college. I lived off of this. I like that this is original because usually original, it doesn't have as much flavoring and I don't love the flavors added. So far not bad. Let's look at the ingredients and see what's going on here. Brown rice cane syrup, barley. It's got that triticale ingredient, which is that hybrid grain that I'm just not a fan of. Expeller pressed soy grits, soy protein isolate. A lot of soy, different variations of soy in here, and because it's not organic, I'm not a fan because that means there can be levels of hexane or other chemicals, so I'm already not a fan of that too. And it also has annatto extract color. So I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but annatto is a natural coloring that's added to food. And even though it's natural, there are so many workarounds to what's considered natural. Maybe it came from a natural source originally, that part, yes. But how do we know if it's been manipulated? And also, everything that comes from the earth isn't necessarily safe for us. I've actually seen different studies where parents were complaining that it was causing worsening symptoms of autism or attention deficit and attention disorder, which isn't necessarily happening to everyone. But if some parents are reporting it, I think it's worth looking into. And I just don't want coloring in my food. I want my food natural, even if it's ugly, even if it looks like brownish and it's not bright. Food is supposed to look normal. So I think it's sad that Kashi's a natural, clean, supposed to be healthy brand and they're still adding colorings. It's unfortunate. So Kashi, I'm gonna give you a not clean. All right, next let's get into peanut butter. Such a classic breakfast staple. Fun story, I actually hated peanut butter growing up because I lived in Iran when I was really young and I just didn't eat it. So then when I came back to the US, I was 4, and I remember going to preschool and everyone would have bread, white bread and peanut butter as a snack, and I hated it and I would cry to my dad, and he had them give me bread and butter. So I would have sliced white bread and butter as an alternative, which was delicious at the time. And then even in elementary school, I would try to force myself to eat it because I wanted to fit in. But now as an adult, I like it, especially mixed with chocolate. Peanut butter cacao is amazing. But let's get into whether it's clean or not clean. So for this one, this is creamy peanut butter. Let's see, ingredients: roasted peanuts, sugar. I don't love that there's sugar added, but it's only 3 grams per serving, so we could let that slide a little bit. Fully hydrogenated vegetable oil, rapeseed, cottonseed, and soybean. So vegetable oil is a no-no. Avoid this in your food. I mean, I personally avoid it in all of my food. Number one, it's high in omega-6. Omega-6 fatty acids cause a lot of inflammation. Omega-3 is good, omega-6 is bad. Second, these are highly processed oils that have to have a lot of chemicals to extract them. Then they use a lot of deodorizers to make them smell good because apparently it gives a rancid smell. And then you're just left with this highly processed chemical, and it sounds good because it's vegetable oil. Even my dad recently was I thought vegetable oil was good because he uses it for our rice, but it's really not good. So we're gonna give this one a very not clean, but there is a healthier alternative. So this is an organic peanut butter. I like that. And look, dry roasted organic peanuts. That's all you need for peanut butter. You don't need sugar, you don't need added other flavorings. Honestly, one thing I'll say is that you can kind of train your taste buds. So if you're used to eating something that's, really sweet and processed, as you go on, you will never be able to go back to it because you train yourself to like real food. I do want to say one thing about peanut butter, which is going to also make me probably annoying because I'm such a stickler. Be careful with peanuts because they're highly susceptible to mold. And one thing you can do here is make sure that you're getting like an organic, high quality peanut butter. You're never going past the expiration date. I would keep it in the refrigerator because moist environments are when you can grow mold. If you can make your own nut butters, if you have like a blender, if you don't want to go that far, but I would buy peanuts in the shell. If you're eating peanuts, make sure they never look like shriveled or weird. They are just very highly susceptible to it. And if you have mold buildup in your body, it can be a nightmare. There's so many people who have been really sick and had no idea what it was, and it was mold, and it's really hard to get rid of. So just be careful with peanut butter, make sure it's organic, keep it in the fridge, and never go past the expiration date. So this one's very clean, and the cool thing is it's literally the same brand. So some brands will make two different options, and they know better, obviously, because they're making a cleaner option. That's what's funny. So just look on the ingredients and do your homework. Good and gather, you are clean. All right, let's talk about protein powder. So not all protein powders are created equal at all. This one is a Sasha Inchi protein. Ingredients, Sasha Inchi protein. So I love this. It is simple. It is one ingredient, whole food based. I actually really like this nut in general. I buy them and I've given them to a lot of friends because it's not something you would ever hear of as common. I actually discovered it when I was trying out a low FODMAP diet, and they're on like the low FODMAP approved list. So a low FODMAP diet was created as a guideline for anyone who has SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Anyone watching this who has SIBO can feel my pain. I've had it in the past, and it's just difficult to treat, and there's a lot of things you can't eat. Basically anything that has types of sugar. So a lot of foods are off limits, and when you find something you like that's like allowed, you're excited. So I went all in on Sasha Inchi, and I tried the protein and the nuts, and I love them. So I'm gonna definitely give this one a clean. Okay, Thomas's Bagels. I feel like this is my childhood. I don't know if you guys ate these growing up, but I wouldn't even toast them sometimes. I would just like go right in. So the very first ingredient is enriched wheat flour. So when you see enriched wheat flour, you really want to avoid this ingredient because basically what they do is separate the bran from the germ. This is like what makes up the wheat, and this causes your body to absorb it differently. So when you're having whole grain wheat, just like regular whole grain wheat, your blood sugar doesn't spike as quickly. But when you have it separated like this, you absorb it differently. So it just doesn't break down the same. Your blood sugar spikes more quickly. You kind of get that more crash and burn. Insulin is released more. And remember that any sugar that's not used up, so when it's spiked that quickly, it's gonna get stored as fat. So it's never a good thing. It's weird because it sounds like it'd be healthy, like enriched, like you've got all these things in it, but it's not. Cellulose gum, xanthan gum, soy lecithin. So I don't like gums either because they cause stickiness in your GI and can cause blockages. So if you have any GI issues, you really want to watch out for that. Soy lecithin, again, the soy, we don't know if the soy is organic or non-GMO, and the extraction process, there's probably going to be a lot of leftover chemicals like propylene glycol or hexane. So there's a lot of reasons to just say this is not clean, so let's just find a better bagel alternative. Thomas's, not clean. Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars. This reminds me of college so much. I would have these for breakfast, dunked into my coffee, my Dunkin' Donuts coffee with extra cream and sugar. Don't judge me, but let's look at the ingredients. Whole grain oats, I like that. Sugar, I don't love that. Canola oil, rice flour. Rice flour is okay. Brown sugar syrup, so we've got two types of sugar now. Soy lecithin and natural flavor. This is just not a good product, in my opinion. Between the soy lecithin, the natural flavor, and the canola oil, there's just three things that are an absolute no for me, especially because it's not organic, and they are very sweet. What is the sugar content? 11 grams of sugar for both bars. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a not clean, which is unfortunate because it will definitely remind me of my college days. Let me just actually say one thing. If I was really craving this and I was in the airport and I saw it and it's vegan, I like that because I'd rather not have processed dairy, I would probably eat it. So look, just because I'm sharing what's clean or not clean doesn't mean that like I'm 100% stickler. I don't live a 100% clean life. I don't think anyone does. That's impossible unless you live on a farm and eat all your own food. But we do the best we can. On a day-to-day basis and on a regular basis, there are too many other options, so I don't want it, but just wanted to share that. So Nature Valley, not clean. And lastly, a potato, a lowly potato. Now, I wanted to add this one in here because this is just like a white, starchy potato that we were told was so bad for us, you know, avoid carbs, avoid white starchy foods. And look, overeating it, yes, just like many things, isn't great, but when it comes to clean, this is beautifully clean. I like that there's dirt on it. I like that it's imperfect. I actually get excited when my produce is dirty because I'm like, yes, this like came from the earth and it wasn't like waxed with all these weird ingredients. Like, so this is definitely a clean. I think that is just one point I want to really get across, is that if you give me a whole food, as long as it's not sprayed with pesticides, it's going to be clean. So if you can get it organic, make sure non-GMO as much as possible, that's just the best diet any of us could follow. So potato, you are clean. Okay, YouTube, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and valuable. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I have a new episode.